This is the third grade digital citizenship lesson called Your Rings of Responsibility. The essential question: how do good digital citizens take responsibility for themselves, their community, and their world? The learning objectives for this lesson: 1. Examine both online and in-person responsibilities. 2. Describe the rings of responsibility as a way to think about how our behavior affects ourselves and others. And 3. Identify examples of online responsibilities to others. I want you to imagine that you have a bowl of water and you drop a penny or a pebble into it. Can you visualize the rings of water that ripple away? What do those circles remind you of? Maybe you think of it as the Target company logo or rings in a tree stump. The circles remind me of the rings of responsibility. Responsibility is a duty that you have to yourself and others.
Imagine if you threw an empty plastic bottle on your bedroom floor. Now, what if it's a bunch of bottles and they spill into the street and eventually end up in the ocean? Your action would have a ripple effect. It would affect you, your community, and even the world. And just like what we do in person, what we do online has a huge impact. What we say online, what we share online, and what we create online doesn't just affect our lives, but the lives of our families, friends, community, and people all around the world. That's why it's so important to think before we act. Use the rings of responsibility as your guide. Always be responsible to yourself, to your community, and to your world.
According to the video, how could throwing a bottle out of your window be similar to something you do online? Littering is similar to doing something online because they both show how your action affects not only you, but also your community and your world. According to the video, what are the rings of responsibility? Each ring represents a person or group you are responsible to: yourself, your community, and your world. And that being responsible to someone means that you think about how your actions will impact them. The center ring represents responsibilities you have to yourself, such as keeping yourself safe and healthy. The middle ring stands for responsibilities you have to your community, including the people you know and interact with on a regular basis. This can include both friends and family, but it can also include people you don't know well, but with whom you interact with. For example, a grocery store clerk or a friend in an online gaming community. And the outer ring stands for your responsibilities to the larger world. This would include people you don't know, but whom your actions might affect. Now, I want you to think about these scenarios. Which ring would you color in? If I said, I eat healthy food, I keep my bedroom clean, I don't watch too much TV before bed. Yes, that would be the center for self. What might be an example for community? Perhaps you're thinking about helping your neighbors with yard work, or following rules like using the crosswalk. And then finally, for world, can you think of an example? How about I don't litter, or I don't say mean things to others online? So those are examples, personal examples of self, community, and world. Have you ever heard the term digital citizen? What comes to mind when you hear that term? A digital citizen is someone who uses technology responsibly to learn, create, and participate. As digital citizens, we have responsibilities to ourselves, our communities, and our world as we learn, create, and participate on the internet. As I read a statement, I want you to think about what ring of responsibility that fits the statement. For example, if I said, I never tell anyone my full name online, you would be thinking of the center ring, self, because that's a way that you can protect your own privacy. So here are the 3 rings. If you would like to pause the video to create these rings on a piece of paper, now would be a good time to do so. You are going to be choosing 3 colors and you're going to use them to color in the key. Then you're going to use the key colors to color in the correct rings or rings for the different statements. Here is an example for the one I chose. What would you color in for this scenario? I make careful choices about the media I use. Did you pick the center? I make careful choices about the media I use affects yourself. Which ring would you color for this? I never call people mean names, online or in person. Did you think of community and world? Number 3. What would you color in for this scenario? I don't share photos, videos, or information about other people unless I have their permission. Does that correspond with self, community, or world? Did you think community? Which ring corresponds to this? I know that not everything I see online is true. Did you fill in the middle, self? I know that not everything I see online is true. Number 5. I don't copy or share someone else's work and say that I created it. Would that be self, community, or world? That would be world. And finally, I ask an adult I trust before sharing private information online. Did you fill in the middle for self? Finally, I want you to pick one example from the activity we just completed. for my rings of responsibility. And I want you to write an explanation about why it belongs in the ring that you chose for it. If you prefer not to write an explanation, you could use this as an opportunity to discuss and explain to a family member. Digital citizenship. How do digital citizens take responsibility for themselves, their communities, and their world? In this lesson, students examined both in-person and online responsibilities. They described the rings of responsibilities as a way to think about how our behavior affects ourselves and others, and identified examples of online responsibilities to others.